What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here, back again for another Martial Arts Monday review. This week we're taking a look at the 1974 Shaw Brothers film, The Shadow Boxer, the first and only starring role for Chen Wo-Fu. And when I read about that, I was so intrigued I had to add this to my cart on Hamilton Book, and it cost me all of $2.95. So, certainly not the greatest film I've seen, not the most memorable action, just a pretty good, I would say, standard martial arts film of the time that was influenced very much by films like The Big Boss in terms of plot, certainly. But a good film, and I'm glad I watched it. Very interesting film. And sadly, the actor Chen Wo-Fu, he had appeared in a few films in supporting roles, less than 5, and then this was to be his breakout role, and he sadly took his own life before the film was released at the age of 24. So what a shame. On the back of the DVD, they talk about comparisons to James Dean. I don't know about that. You know, James Dean, Bruce Lee, these are pretty high comparisons to make, I think. We just don't have enough information. I think he could have been more like a Lo Lei. You know, a guy who could have been the lead guy, but also could have been more of a supporting player. And we actually kind of see that in here. As the film opens, he's not as assertive as a friend of his, played by an actor named Chin Ku-chung, who I know from Long Arm of the Law Saga 2. Please check out my review of that film. He's more likely to confront the management of this company that they both work for. Again, a lot of similarities to the plot of The Big Boss. In this case, they're building roadways, you know, chopping up stones and hauling stones and placing stones into the roadway in like 100-degree heat. He's more likely to get into confrontations with the management. The Chen Wo-Fu character has taken a vow of nonviolence, again, just like the Big Boss, to his master, who is a practitioner of Tai Chi. Okay, and in fact, the alternate title of this film is Tai Chi Chuan. Now, other films have also touched on Tai Chi Master from Jet Li, Man of Tai Chi, starring Keanu Reeves, decent film. And that sort of has to do, is the root of his sort of nonviolent pledge. His master, well, he's a master of nonviolence. I mean, there's a scene where he's attacked, and with very few movements, he's able to deflect and parry the movements of his attackers rather than go on the offensive. So it does take a while for our hero to sort of kick into high gear and go on the offensive. And it's not like The Big Boss, where he's nonviolent for the first, I would say, third of the film, and then the second 2/3, Bruce Lee absolutely kicks ass. In this film, there's the first quarter, he's nonviolent. The middle part, he's sort of fighting back, but there are times it seems like he's using more like Tai Chi, like he's pushing people when he could be striking them at times. And it's only after he learns that a lot of people around him have been wronged by this evil company. Again, the plot of this is not going to be revolutionary to you. That he really starts to kick some ass. And the action is pretty good. There's nothing jumping out at me. You know, I saw this a few days ago that tells me that this was like some of the greatest action I've ever seen. It's a pretty good film across the board. That's what I'll say about the action. Choreographed by Yuen Woo-ping. Just pretty good. And like I said, his friend is much more apt to get into a confrontation with the boss. Now, Chen Wo-Fu's commitment to nonviolence is so strong in the beginning of the film, he steps in and basically takes a beating on behalf of a worker who was protesting, standing out in the heat, waiting for his pay. And by the way, the management announces at the last minute, oh, you're only getting half a month's pay. We have to put the other half into a special fund, which doesn't go over well. And their attitude is, if you don't like it, leave. We'll just get somebody else. And as often the case, there are people around our hero, his girlfriend, his master, his friends, his master's daughter, who are harmed by the bad guys, who are also connected to a wealthy woman, a real piece of work that moves into town and starts bossing people around. And the girlfriend of our hero, not unwittingly, but she takes a job in her household as a servant, not knowing that she's connected to the owners of this road building company. So bad things happen. In a lot of these films, it's either the girlfriend or the master or the friend or the sister that get wronged, causing our hero to spring into the action. In this film, it's pretty much everybody. So it really takes a lot for this guy to become an ass kicker at the end of this film. All in all, a pretty good film. If you're just getting into martial arts films or kung fu films, I would say stick to something like The Big Boss, or go ahead and check out The 36th Chamber of Shaolin, which I reviewed last week. Please check out that review. And this is more for die-hard fans. Having said that, if you're on Hamilton Book, I mean, like I said, it is $2.95. So, you're not going to be spending a lot on this. I'll definitely watch this again at some point. I did find it very fascinating. And once again, what a tragedy. God, I hate reading stuff like that. I mean, I hate reading about people who die when they're in their 50s and 60s, which is by accidental means or something like that. But 24, oh my gosh, it's just far too young. He definitely could have been a pretty big star in the world of martial arts films, I think. Chen Wo-Fu. Okay, there you go, guys. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you back next week for another Martial Arts Monday review. Thanks.